introduction. In 1960, there was a blockbuster movie called as Mughal-e-Azam. It was inspired by a play called as Anarkali. And later on, once again, we saw the black and white film was re-released in color in 2004. And of late, recently, since 2017 or 18, uh, the Shapurji Palonji group has been staging the musical as plays in many parts of the world, like New York, Muscat, and there was a North American tour. They also went to Canada, Mumbai, and many places. And the person behind the scene is one of our alumnus, uh, Deepesh Salgia. He's class of 1990, electronics and communication. So he's current CEO and director of Shapurji Palonji Group. And Deepesh has also written a book on real estate trends. And Deepesh and his classmates contributed to the Saraswidya Fund to enable needy students to get scholarships and pursue their study in the IIT if it's necessary. Okay. So I'll hand the mic over to Deepesh, and he'll just take us through uh, uh, what made this uh, magnum opus global, and it's very, very inspiring to see an Indian epic being retold in so many different places of the world. Over to you, Deepesh.
Hi, everybody, and it's wonderful meeting our colleagues, and especially from Chennai. And it has been, a wonderful journey in the show also, and the film also. But talking to our group about the same is even more interesting. And thank you, Gopal, and the team for making this possible. And so let me now start with the journey. Shall I share the screen now?
Yeah, you
Shall I
can
share
share
the
this.
screen? Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can share this.
Okay, screen now. Okay, yeah, okay. Yes, 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 yes. We have, yeah, so it's here. Yes, that is, it is. One second. Yes. Yes. Now, can you see it now? And can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. We can all hear you. Deepesh, you
Shall I
can.
start? Shall I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So there are, Mughal-e-Azam is just not a film. It is an actually a history uh, in a different format. I would say itself has its own history, an institution by its own. It was Mughal-e-Azam in black and white. You can see then Mughal-e-Azam again the same film in color, and the Mughal-e-Azam the musical. So each of them is a different, in a way, audience that has it has impacted a different level of audience at different times of history. So we start with the interesting journey that Mughal-e-Azam has. So, and we will be talking, of course, of the Mughal-e-Azam color and Mughal-e-Azam musical play, of which I have been part of it, because the film was made in 1960 when I was not even born. Uh, so the story is a very interesting story, and not a story, actually, piece of history. That the film was started in 1944 by K. Asif, who was the director of the film, and at that time, his age was just 22. So he started the big budget film Mughal-e-Azam with a person called Shiraz Ali Hakim. He was a producer of the film in 1944. But the film started, the shoot started, the film shoot started in 44, 45. But as luck would have it, in 1947, we saw the partition of India, And by the time about 2 reels of the film were shot, and Shiraz Ali decided to shift to Pakistan. So film remained incomplete. Shiraz Ali has a lot of dues in the market because he was a producer. So obviously they keep borrowing and they keep making a lot of investments and co-investments. So he was trying to settle all the dues, and he had borrowed money from Mr. Shapurji Palanji Mistry, who was actually a construction, who was owning a construction company and a real estate company. And so he owed money to them, and then he said, I don't have anything right now to pay you. I have to go to Pakistan, start my business again. So I am going to give you the rights of this under construction, under production film, which is Mughal-e-Azam. And already it is, you have to put just some more money, and you'll get advances from distributor, and you'll make money. It's a good film, and so you'll be able to record your money along with some profits. It's like a barter deal. Okay. Then what happened in 1948, after Shapurji took over, uh, the original artist who was playing, again, as luck would have it, the artist who was playing Akbar, he died. The artist who was playing Salim became too old. But that version had to be scrapped. So effectively, the entire investment of Shapurji Banji had become a knot. Now, this is a very interesting thing you observe here. So that time, Mr. Shapurji Mistry was a big fan of Akbar and of the architecture because he was a construction and real estate person. So K.R. suggested that we will restart the film, but with a new star cast and much larger scale and canvas than was originally envisioned. And now it was Shapurji Banji as a financier. And now this is a very interesting partnership. Now, what I want you to see here is that this is like a venture capital model in a way of those times. Kiasi was in 20s and Shapurji was in like 60s, a venture capitalist, a private equity guy. So the founder proposed him something. The project, when the project flunked, did not work. He reworked the model and came again asked for money. And this is what actually typically happens with young founders. They come with the business model, it doesn't work. They again come with a model that may work or may not work, again come with the model. But that's a relationship between a financier and a founder, and that did exist in those days. So that's what I think would connect with today's audience. And then in 1951, the shoot started with new artists, Prithviraj Kapoor's Akbar, Madhubala. No, doesn't need introduction. Dilip Kumar does not need introduction. Prithviraj Kapoor is the great grandfather of Ranbir Kapoor. The film had a big scale, 2,000 camels, 4,000 horses, 8,000 jawans of Indian Army took part to look the originality. So that was the scale of the film. And tailors were brought from Delhi and goldsmiths from Hyderabad, craftsmen from Kolhapur, ironsmiths from Rajasthan, Zardosi from Surat Kambhat region, and then footwear from Agra. So the best from all the regions of India was brought for the shoot of Mughal-e-Azam. No compromise made. And this was born the black and white version of Mughal-e-Azam. I'm just trying to show some of the pics to show you the scale of that film in those days. Now imagine how to shoot so many jawans and this thing and all standing in a line. And the amount of logistics in shooting such things in those times when you didn't have communication. All elements, horses, people, everything, spears, everything is just real. Just imagine there's nothing imagination. Everything is real, and this was been shot in real world in Rajasthan. And also camels, just imagine. So this is some of the films. You can see the grand scales, all original, no animation. See the costumes and the jewelry and the set and the scale of the camera angles. It's all real world elephants of Indian Army. No animal rights that time. So thanks to this film could be shot without animal rights. And so this is So the film was released in a theater of Maratha Mandir. You can see the queues outside the theater that time, and there's a ticket of that time. But what is interesting, I also got some very interesting pictures of Chennai. The film was also released in Chennai, and this is a picture of a publicity material in Chennai. So this is Mughal-e-Azam. You can see in Tamil. I can still read Tamil. Mughal-e-Azam is written here, and so that is for those who can read Tamil, and this is there. And then I've got this is near Gemini Studios, Mughal-e-Azam banner. Those who know the time see the old Fiat car. Then these are the all 750 bulbs. No, so it's not just LED wall. There's different 750 bulbs. That was scale of publicity in Chennai. Interestingly, the film was also made in Tamil also. It was a bilingual film. It was made in Tamil also. Bilingual is probably dubbed actually, not bilingual. The name was Akbar. So this is Midland Cinema. This is a Mint Junction. If some of you can identify some of the locations, it was interesting. And there's a cycle rickshaw you can see. The public the old cars you can station published at cinema. This is the Darbar restaurant. Now, so this was a black and white film that was made in 1960. It was released then. But around 1957, the color technology came to India, and KSF thought, okay, let me see the Shoot Smell song in color. And the color sequence was outstanding. And he really wanted to shoot the entire film in color. But of course, that was not possible because of Madhubala's health and various operational challenges. So this was that iconic song, and I'm sure you know, all those who know can put the name song in the chat box, and there doesn't, all those who know the song, but not very difficult to identify. And this was a Sheesh Mahal sequence, which you saw, and he said, the whole film should be color. It's looking so pretty. But the film was ready for release, and it was released in 85% black and white and 15% in color. It cost $3 million then, when the most expensive film in those days was made for $300,000. Almost 10 times of the most expensive film. If you want to get a feel of today's numbers, in inflation-adjusted terms, the cost of the film would be, just hold your breath, 900 crores. And RRR, the global box office, this was not just Indian box office, that time there was no global box office. The RRR, global box office, all languages, was about 1,100 to 100 crores. So this would have been the cost of a film, and the box office would have been 3,400 crores. So that was the scale of the film and the business that happened in India in those days. And but of course, in 1971, KSF died, and his dream to see the entire film in color remained unfulfilled. In 1970s and 80s, the film continued to come in cinema halls every year, year on year, and still made money. Every year it would come to cinema hall, and people would watch it for 30, 40 years. And in the meantime, some silent event was happening. Mr. Srinivas Gopal and Dipesh Salgia were studying at IIT Madras. So this was happening that time. Now coming to 2003, when Hollywood at that time had only colorized films for what you call TV release. And they had not developed the technology for big screen colorization of the films. And so, we developed the technology in India in 2003 with a studio in Mumbai, and also a studio in Chennai was used for the restoration work. And we also use historians and art conservationists to ensure the authenticity of the colors. And then I just get to what is the process of colorization, because the tech group, so the basic on tech will be interesting. So we scan approximately 300,000 frames. It's a 3-hour film. So approximately that many frames are there. And then you scan them in high resolution. You remove the scratches digitally. You do a dust cleaning. It's a digital process. And you stabilize, because you see the old films have a lot of shake in that. You stabilize them. There's a software of that, but also a lot of manpower is involved. And this is done. And then you realize that, you have a good quality black and white film. After you restore the black and white film, that job was done in Chennai, a studio called Active Studio in those days. And then you choose the right colors, make a right keyframe. So for every sequence, every scene, you would make the right keyframe. And then there's a sort of software and human interface, both are involved, to copy those colors into the remaining frames of that shot. And how do you choose the right colors? What is the question? So basically, there's a technological process, there's a historical process, there's an artistic process. So if you pass through all the gates, you will still have about 3 to 4 options. That these are the possible colors. Then basically, a person like me would imagine what would have been the director's vision. You understand his mind and what would look good on the screen. And so you imagine director's mind and see probably this would have been the color. After historians approved it, art directors approved it, technologies approved it. So there's a check and balancing system of multiple ways, so that you are quite likely close to the original color. There's no guarantee, but it should sort of appear as if the original film was shot in color. So we can say that our colors should be 70 to 80% close to what the original colors were. But yes, it should look nice and it should look authentic. That's the most important part of it. And then there's accessible color balancing, because when you do color digitally and then put on a negative and then make it a screen, the colors may not be exactly the same. So there's something called color balancing. You balance the red, green, and blue so that it should look a very balanced image on the screen, like a new film. And this is like a process that was going on in 2004. Each frame is like so many people keep working on it. So about 150 people actually worked on it approximately in Chennai, in Bombay. You can see them. And this is the process. You start with a black and white frame and then you add, you can see here, the third screen, Madhuwala. Each of the frame is divided into small, small portions. Because the color grayscales is different for different parts of the image. And then you add colors to it. And then it is like a summarized portion of the whole job, just to give a feel how exciting it is when you see the whole original black and white into a beautiful colors like this. Then you have, yeah. Then we also got, it was not just important to color the film, we also got the original composer, late Naushad Ali Sahib, to re-record the entire sound for Dolby digital release. So that was recorded completely. And then when the film was released, the old film was in 35 format, which is a 1.35 aspect ratio. So the ratio of the width of the film to the height of the film was 1.35. In a CinemaScope, what you see today is 2.35. It's a much wider format. But the width is 2.35 and the height is 1. So how do you convert almost like a square image, 1.35 is to 1 is close to a square, into a 2.35 is to 1 a rectangle? But this algorithm use it, and you do some play around with the audience's view, and ultimate together. So some algorithm and some playing around with the audience's perception, you create a sort of a CinemaScope image, because that's what only can project in today's screen. People won't accept a 35 old film. So ultimately, we had CinemaScope, we had Dolby Surround Sound, we had restoration, we had colorization. And when the film was released, it ran for 25 weeks. And this is probably the only film in the world which ran for Silver Jubilee in the first release, and also after 44 years in a re-release. Well, that's a part of the story. I mean, nothing to do with colorization, that of course was there, but the story is so good that people like to connect with it even after 44 years. So the wish of the original maker, K. Asif, to see the entire film in color was fulfilled. This was actually a moment in high that a great man made a great work of art, and he died with an unfulfilled wish. And I was happy that I was instrumental in completing his wish. Then what happens is that, just some interesting things I want to share with you, which again we do connect. So in 2004, before that we had an OAT. I don't know if you have still OAT. Gopal, do you still have OAT in IIT or no?
Yeah, I've seen
Open
OAT.
Theater. Yeah, OAT. So you used to have
Many
every
times.
week, you used to have a film screening there in
Yeah,
1970s, 80s, 90s, and till 2000. At least till about 10, 15 years back, you used to have
yeah.
regular
Even now
film screening.
also it's getting strict.
You you have it? Okay, very nice. But of course, I'm sure with so many online apps available now, the craze would have been less. But in those days, there was a huge craze for the OAT film. It was a packed show. So in 2004, they installed a Dolby system in IIT Madras in that venue. So this film, Mughal-e-Azam, was actually the first film, and it premiered the Dolby surround sound of OAT. So I was called there, and I gave a speech in the CLT, in the what do you call guest lecture, and then we had a show in the evening. So, and how my BTech knowledge connects to IITM, or BTech knowledge connects to Mughal-e-Azam, I will tell you later, because there's something interesting then. So how actually as a BTech electronic engineer, my role was, in this particular colorization. I will tell you later. Uh, and just before that, just this was a premiere of the color version. We got a prints on elephant to the Eros Cinema in Mumbai. It's an Art Deco building. All civil engineers, architects would know there's an Art Deco building. Eros Cinema in front of Churchgate. There's Eros Cinema you can see in front of Churchgate. And it's a huge, grand function was there with all big, this was a thing to get all celebrities there. Dilip Kumar, Zahra Banu, and Rani Mukherjee. And you can see this is Rishi Kapoor. This is my boss, Mr. Shapur Mistry. This is me in those days. And You can see Bonnie Kapoor, Sridevi, and you can identify those, all these celebrities. And another people from South, Rekha is here. Apparently, Ms. Javani Ganeshan's daughter. And Govinda was member of parliament that time. And these are people whose parents were part of Mughal-e-Azam. So we called them also. So this is the son of Ajit. If you know Ajit, the film star Ajit, this is his son actually, central guy. So I think some of the people would know Ajit, but this is his son. So and so that was the story of how the film was colorized and the fulfillment of the dream wish of K. Asif. Now we come to the third version of Mughal-e-Azam. That's a stage play. Now this is another interesting thing here. So in theater in India around 2015-16, what happened in theater where I see is theater is play, physical theater, not the cinema hall, theater. What happened was that in India, over the period, cinema started dominating theater. India had a wonderful theater in 40s, 50s, 60s, and even before that, and 70s, 80s. But over the period, across India, Hindi film, Tamil film, and Bengali, where theater was there, the cinema started dominating the the theater. And the theater, of course, audience did not started moving to cinema hall, and ultimately, market became so less that there was no money in the theater. So artists also started running out, and there was no money. Producers started cutting costs, and the scale of the theater became small and small. And in small and small theater, the money was less. Artists also not interested. So it was like a dwindling industry. So when Firoz Abbas Khan came to me that he wants to make a theatrical play on Mughal-e-Azam, I told him, see, if you want to play on Mughal-e-Azam, it's a big brand, the big scale. We cannot make a theater version of the film, theatrical version of the film, with today's scale of Indian theater. We need to completely change the scale. I mean, when he said, what do you mean by scale? I said, today we are selling for 500 rupees a ticket. That's the cinema hall price. We have to go 10 times. Can we sell tickets for 5,000 rupees? He says, if you want to sell, first of all, there should be market. And secondly, you have have that scale. So I told her, I know what I mean by scale. So, what do you mean by scale? So I gave him some references. These are the visual image references. This is what kind of scale I want to project on a real world stage, where people can actually see happening in front of them and not on the screen. So he says that, yeah, this is going to be a good amount of cost. Because yes, that cost we'll discuss later. But can you do it? He said, yeah, I can definitely think on it and do it. So then he went back to the drawing table and reworked the entire, design of the play and said, came back to me after 2 weeks, and he said, yes, Dipesh, whatever you have in mind that can be executed in India, but do you know the budget? I know the budget. So who will fund it? Like, I mean, Shapoji will fund it because we have an emotional touch with Mughal-e-Azam. I said, you will not be able to make money. Like, I know that I don't care for not making money, but I really want to give a outstanding product to this country, and which theater deserves, but theater does not deliver today. We have a great story. We have a great legacy of Mughal-e-Azam, and the finance is available. So why not try it? It's okay. If you are there, done. We entered into a partnership. So what we did was we had a truly international Broadway-style musical. I mean, that's what we wanted to show from India. That if Broadway is about big musicals, India also can make it. It's not just about the tech software. We're also good at stagecraft. And we had live singing. So we had actors that would sing, that would perform, and that would also dance. Acting, dancing, and singing all by the same artist. Then we introduced for the first time subtitles in Indian theatre. Because we realized, see, if you are making a big scale production, it's not only Hindi audience that would see. There's so many people who would like to see, probably would not be able to understand the finer nuances of the language. And especially because the language is quite difficult, it's pure Urdu. So we had to introduce first time the subtitle concept in Indian theatre. So we have subtitle not on the top and bottom, we have on the left and the right side. We found that's more palatable and more workable to see on the left and right. Because if you have it on the top and bottom, it's quite disturbing. So we had two subtitles that would expand the market. And then we had a cast and crew of 150, again for the first time in India. We had 550 costumes designed by Manish Malhotra. but that makes more changes at the back end. So within a 2.5 hours, you can see 550 costumes being changed at the back end. The huge amount of complexity at the back end. Then we had grand sets weighing over 20,000 kgs, and the play was directed by Firoz Abbas Khan. So that's how we started in 2016, and the musical opened straight to full houses at NCPA because Mughal-e-Azam has a legacy. It is a legacy. People really wanted to see the black and white. They saw it, they saw in color, and they really were waiting at how the stage it would look on a stage live. And the songs are very popular. So, and then every season was sold out in advance. We did season 1, season 2, season 3, all sold out, sold out, sold out. Then the original idea was just to do the show in Bombay because it's too heavy a show. It's very, very heavy in terms of, I told you, the sets and all that. It could not have been transported. So my boss told, at that time, Mr. Harris Misty was alive. Now he passed away in a car accident, unfortunately. But he told me that, you have to take it to Delhi. And I told it's very expensive, and not only expensive, a lot of challenges because new sets have to be made and how to do it. There's no theater in Delhi. So in Delhi, we hired a stadium and converted a stadium into a theater. So actually investment in hardware. It's a huge amount of investment in infrastructure hardware to convert a stadium into a theater. It's an indoor stadium, not a closed stadium, and not an open stadium. And then we did the show in Delhi, and then we received huge praises from the art circuit and the literary world and political class and bureaucrats and business community. Everybody liked the play. And we also bagged 7 Broadway World India Awards. So now we had arrived in life that we said, okay, yes, the show is good. People in Bombay liking it, people in Delhi liking it. So we are somewhere good to go. And this was a play, and you can just see this is a thing. And this is some of the images of the play I'm showing you. This is the Kathak dance called Parmelu. All the dances are Kathak form and Indian classical music. So pure classical music, classical dance. But the presentation is international. The lighting, design, sound, everything is international. The art is purely Indian. This is on live on stage. What you see is actually performed live on stage. All the costumes you can see and the decor and everything is pure live. And now I'm just showing you a small promo, a 3-minute promo of the Delhi sequence. You can see now. If only you can put your earphone and see, it will be interesting.
मुगल-ए-आजम जब बनी थी तो उसकी सारी रीलें हाथी पर सवार होके सिनेमा घर तक गई थी. अब फिरोज अब्बास खान से कोई और कुछ एक्सपेक्ट कर सकता है?
This goes to show that if you dream big, you can achieve it. Because there's a huge queue outside and Delhi people are getting the opportunity.
I think it is a great film and I'm quite anxious to see how it lives up on the theatre.
If the play is half as good as the original one, then nobody has done such a production.
As far as expectations are concerned, then sky is not the limit.
I've heard it's a completely spectacular production, and to have it in this Nehru Stadium, which is quite innovative and interesting in itself, so I'm dying to see what he's done with the set. I'm dying to see the spectacle.
उम्मीद करता हूँ कि इसे बनाने वालों ने जरूर इसमें कुछ ऐसा नया किया है जो फिल्म से आगे की चीज है.
I expect the best, the brightest, the grandest, the most magnificent from my friend Firoz Abbas Khan, nothing less.
It has taken my breath away.
This is sensational.
It is a world-class production.
जितना सोचा था, उम्मीद से ज्यादा था.
Any adjective that I think of would be inadequate. It's so brilliant and so well presented that I cannot think of words to express the enormity of the brilliance that has been brought into the whole performance. I do not know whether anyone else could have done this.
भारत की एक बहुत बड़ी सृजनात्मक कृति है. शाहपुर पालन जी, इसके प्रोड्यूसर्स, सारे आर्टिस्ट, इसके डायरेक्टर, सबों का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन. मेरा सुझाव है, आग्रह है, इसे भारत के हर इलाकों में घुमाइए और दुनिया में भी घुमाइए.
Somebody just passed in comment that take this to the borders and there won't be any war between India, Pakistan or anybody else.
For the cause of theatre, for the cause of real art, what has been done is beyond words.
Yeah. So that was a promo. And then in 2018-20, when we realized that we have done really some good job, so we went to Dubai, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Muscat, Doha. And so across Asia, we did a lot of shows. And then there are lots of challenging supply chain in taking, which I'm not right now discussing because of a short talk here. We don't have too much time. But we had this challenging supply chain. But then, of course, we cracked all of them one by one as they came. And then the pandemic strikes in 2020, and theatre across the world closed down. But the show must go on. So in 2023, after the lockdown, and we decided to go to the land of Broadway. And we had a 150-member cast and crew. We performed across 14 cities of North America, across the left, right, center border of the thing. And we had 953 trucks container. That's a huge amount of truck traveling along with us, carrying the sets and the costumes and the lights and the sound system along with us across. So you guys say left East Coast to West Coast by truck. That's a huge amount of thing. And we would perform on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the main 4 days, the material will shift and get uploaded or get set up on the other venue. So huge amount of complex supply chain and logistic challenges. And the promotional performance was done live at Times Square. And we also performed at very prestigious venues like Lincoln Center, at the New York Center and Auditorium Theatre, and at Chicago, and the best venues across Canada and US. And the biggest achievement again here was the entire whole show really filled the Indians across Broadway with a lot of pride that we have arrived at production quality and performance that can match with Broadway. That brings a sense of pride. For this kind of show, if you just do 3 or 4 performances in a city after taking to US and traveling across the border, it is not going to make money. But the way art and culture can touch the hearts of people across the world, of Indians especially, it really brings joy to your life. I think that has been the biggest achievement of this Broadway show, that I've been able to touch through our show the lives, the souls and the hearts of millions of people across the world. And that, I think, is a very, very big achievement. And that otherwise, it is not very easy to you can earn a lot of money, but touching the heart and souls of people really gives much more joy and pleasure. And this was the Times Square performance. I'll just go through it. How much time do we have right now? How much time do we have?
We have another 20 minutes.
Okay, so fine. Then we can show it. We can see it completely.
Mughal-e-Azam performing live in the USA. Give it up for Mughal-e-Azam.
इश्क में जीना, इश्क में मरना, इश्क में जीना, इश्क में मरना, और हमें अब करना क्या जब प्यार किया तो डरना क्या, प्यार किया तो डरना क्या, जब प्यार किया तो डरना क्या। छुप ना
Sorry. Yeah. So that was our promotional campaign at Times Square. Live performance performed there. So I just have some interesting observations that I want you to observe it here at a more philosophical level also. So originally, the play was written as in 1922. Let me tell you, Anarkali is a fictitious character in the story. There's no Anarkali on which Salim was in love with. It's a fictitious story. Just like Titanic, it's a fictitious plot on a historical fact. So Akbar was real world, Salim was real world, but Anarkali was a fictitious character. So history mixed with fiction. It was written as a grand play by Imtiaz Ali Taj, was a great playwriter in 1922. But in those days, theatre did not have scale. So Kiasif thought cinema would have a scale, so he did not make a theatre out of it. He made a film out of the story. But Kiasif's dream remained unfulfilled to see the film in color. That film was colored in 2004. So Kiasif's dream to see black and white to color was fulfilled. And the original writer, Imtiaz Ali Taj, his vision to see a grand scale play on the fictitious story he wrote was fulfilled in 2016 through the making of this musical play. And what is the interesting part is that in both the cases, the enabler is technology. Cinema technology gave a scale to the story in those days. And by 2016, we had the stage technology in India as well, with a lot of flybars and LED walls and other lights and sound to give a scale to this whole story in a stage form, which fulfilled this dream of the original writer. But that, I think, as a technology has a power to actually fulfill dreams of even creative people and different, literary people and artists. So that's the power of technology. And in all these, whether it's the theater or the color film, we do not let the technology overtake art. We use technology to enhance the art. So art got enhanced through technology, powered by technology. But technology did not dominate art. So what you see is always art. We don't see technology. Technology remains the backdrop and the background. Now, I had told you that I will connect you how it works to the IIT, to my knowledge in IIT, the colorization. So now what happened in 80s, when I was doing in the final year, the sixth semester, I think, I had undertaken a course in image processing. But the professor, those are there, and the name of the actual course was TV engineering, but a lot about image processing was done. There was a professor called Professor Udpikar, and he actually was a new PhD person who did just finish his PhD, and the first course actually he took in 1989, and I registered for the course, and probably because I thought all the Maggo guys are not there, like Mr. D.P. Prakash, I'll get a good grade. So I took this course, and I'm sure I realized that it'll be a good for me. So I did this course, but whatever I learned in this course, I actually remembered for quite some time. The teaching was good. Obviously that was one of the factors, and that is what actually helped me in understanding the challenges in a graphic and image processing in 2003-4 when the film was coloring. So the tech guys would explain me these are the things, because at that time I was not in tech. I actually could relate to what I studied in IIT. I'm not joking. Actually, I really related to that, and I took a lot of decisions, and that actually proved to be correct. That what should be the resolution, and what could be the pixelization, and all issues were actually it was there ingrained in mind. So I just realized that good teaching is there, and you learn with passion. Sometimes you remember for 15, 20 years, even though you're not in the field. And now hold the breath. When we travel on Mughal-e-Azam stage musical, now you start laughing at it. It is not just about supply chain or artists. The entire sets have to be squared sometimes, because some stages are square, some stages are rectangle. The whole dimension of stages changes across the world. There's no uniform size. So a set has to change. There's a lot of engineering, mechanics, and physics involved. It is the pulley system and everything what learned in physics in JE and the engineering mechanics in first semester actually was very useful in redesigning the back end of the portals. I can't explain in detail here, but that really was useful. And fortunately, I still had some knack for that engineering physics, and not engineering, the physics and the engineering mechanics behind it. So that was something that really was useful, and that did connect to me. But in the entire process of first colorization Mughal-e-Azam, I actually went to Professor Junjunwala. I told him, see, I'm undertaking a first kind of project in the world. Even Broadway did not try making a film in color at the cinema scale. Agar मैं stuck हो गया कहीं, somewhere I get stuck, I'll come back to you. Baba, you just help because you have the lab, you can solve the problem. He said, don't worry, our labs are available to you. If you have any problem, you can come. My consultancy is free. So of course, I did not have to go to him, but that was really big support from Junjunwala. So when I finished the whole colorization and stage and everything, in an interview in Pan IIT like this in US last year, I told that there's a professor who taught me this image processing. I don't remember his name. He's a Maharashtrian professor. I don't remember his name. Professor Junjunwala heard that interview and he emailed me that that guy is Udupikar and he is right now based in Pune. So I then called the Udupikar and told him that this musical play is coming to Bombay. He said, I already bought tickets for this thing. And he actually came to the show. And then I actually then met Professor Junjunwala. I presented my book to him on real estate, which is my first book in on management. So that I presented to him. And then Professor Udupikar, he came to me at the show in Mumbai. This is just about in a few months back in January 2024. He actually bought the tickets and he came for the show. So that was interesting. The whole circle came from 1989 and the film was colored. And then I met Mr. Junjunwala and Professor Udupikar also in person. That was an interesting journey. I thought that was a very emotional. So I had seen that. And then this will come to the end of the presentation. And we have Mughal-e-Azam, all three formats available: black and white, color, and the stage musical. Thank you for the wonderful time you've given to me. And I can just go through the comments what the people have posted and available for questions.
Amazing, Deepesh. We just relived your experience as you were just going through the moments of Mughal-e-Azam global staging and all that. There are some comments or questions in the chat box. You can just answer them.
Yeah. So now Anarkali market, yes, there's Anarkali market in Lahore. And that Anarkali is not necessarily this Anarkali, Prabha, Partha. But I have actually been to the Anarkali market personally. I went to Lahore in 2011. I went to Anarkali market. And of course, a lot of interesting food also available there, Anarkali market near, but of course, a lot of non-veg, so I couldn't enjoy the food. But interestingly, there is a Jain temple near the Anarkali market. I went to Jain temple. It was destroyed there. I actually had pictures also. And if I don't, I'll show the pictures of Jain temple and Anarkali market in Pakistan, Lahore. But what is interesting is that the temple has been broken and nobody goes there. Some of the terrorists actually and fundamentalists actually broke the temple. And I took the picture. And all the entire thing was sealed by the court because the terrorists attacked it. So I requested somebody that मैं इतना दूर से आया हूँ Bombay से, I would like to have the darshan of Jain temple. So I actually climbed the wall, and he became like घोड़ा, that Pakistani. He said, आप आए हैं तो मैं आपको दर्शन कराऊंगा. So he actually, he said कि आप आए हैं तो मैं आपकी इबादत कराऊंगा. खुदा की इबादत करने आए तो कराऊंगा मैं. He actually kneeled down and put his leg and hands on like a ghoda ban gaya wo. And I climbed on him and climbed the wall, crossed the wall in Pakistan. I had the darshan of temple, it's a broken temple, and then came out. It's very close to Anarkali market. Came out again, and what is more interesting is that the temple is not there, but the chalk is known as Jain Mandir Chowk. So till 2011, that whole chalk was known as Jain Mandir Chowk. Probably no Jain lives in Lahore, but the name was still Jain Mandir Chowk. So that was your thing. Thank you, DP, for the comments. Thank you, Prabha, for the comments. And any other questions, I can, of course, I answer. And look for DP again. Look forward to meeting you sometime in US again, and Partha maybe again in Canada. Anybody else there?
What was the general response to the musical performances at the different venues in the world?
So basically, see, there are two things. One is how the Indians react, and one is how the non-Indians react. Indians typically know the story in some form or some format, or they do reading, and they're aware of it. And they know the music also, they know the costume, dance, so they really culturally, emotionally, socially connect with the characters, with the costume, with the sets, and the entire story. And they not only get emotionally connected because they see a father and a son's equation, they see a mother and son equation, and they see so many other things, but they also take pride in the quality of production that we are actually able to execute such complex projects. So that is, I think, one aspect I saw and I mentioned in the presentation also. As far as the foreigners are there, they're actually really amazing surprise in terms of how, I mean, so many people can perform together. And they also like the colors of costume because most of the Broadway shows actually are not colorful. Very few of them are. I'm not saying they are many have colors are typically beige, white, gray, and this kind of colors there. We have, if you see in the scene, we have so many variety of colors. That is something that impresses them. And of course, the artistic dances and the beautiful sets that impresses them. So they really like it because they have a different kind of entertainment which is not available in their sort of system in like a Broadway or West End. So those shows are very different kind of shows. So this adds a lot of variety to it. So that's a two kind of perception. For them, for one section it brings pride, and for other section it brings variety.
Okay, I think there's one more question. Is this motivating other similar productions with Indian themes and stories? There's somebody
Yeah,
called as Mr. MJ Koshi who asked this
yeah,
question.
Matthew. So basically, you know what? This is Matthew. See, basically, India has rich stories, a number of stories available. Okay. Now, and there's no dearth of stories that can be made on stage. The problem is that theater on its own does not make money. Let me tell you, it does not make money. So, and that's world over. Broadway has an ecosystem where market provides, there's an ecosystem where people from world over comes to New York and see the show. And they have like a show of 100 performances, 200 performances, 300 performances, and then the show makes money. But we don't have that ecosystem. So most of the countries, government puts money. Like for a Chinese company, China, they promote their shows. In America, I think there's a Chinese show also in America. It's very popular. So they are being funded by some Chinese, investors, not investors, also donors, and those people to promote the Chinese soft power, I would say. So that is only a government agenda to promote soft power. Unfortunately, India does not have a culture where government or people or any other private trust to support this kind of a show. Otherwise, if this kind of show is not actually taken, it actually would work towards increasing soft power of India. So that's another thing this show has achieved. It has actually increased the soft, wherever it has gone, it has improved the soft power of India. It's working towards that because every show we go, you have the ambassador of India, you have the consul general of other countries coming for the show. So it really spreads the message that India, has a soft power that is to be seen and believed to it. So yes, we are working in the direction also. We plan to do more shows across the world. And we also plan to take it to different cities because there are no theaters in India, in Chennai or in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, Ahmedabad. There's no theater. So we have to construct theater. So we're working on a model in which we'll have a mobile theater. Entire stage, flybars, machinery, motors, in the chairs, seats, and the acoustic system, the side, all of the black cloth, everything. Entire thing comes in say from trucks. We go to a city, perform 2 weeks, and get to next city. Like a traveling show. That's a model that we are working on. Hopefully, we can work out. We're looking for partners in that, and we at least got only 70% of the partners. So once we get that, then we can probably travel to various cities in India, maybe 10, 15 cities in India, to showcase how theater can be very different from what people have imagined ever theater. So that's another thing we're looking at. But of course, we plan to go to London. We plan to go to again to US. We plan to go to what do you call Australia, other parts of the world. Basically, for me, it is not actually about a financial model. It's like, in a way, I would say, my give away to art and culture. But this way, at least, you feel satisfied that is the part of your giving back to society. So that is what I personally feel is my agenda. But yes, if anybody else wants to do, as Matthew says, he's welcome to do it, but he will need that kind of support, dedicated manpower, money to do this kind of shows. A lot of you have copied. Devdas has been made into film, into theater. It's flopped. Umrajan has tried. It has flopped. A lot of people tried with Ramayana. It has not worked. So people are trying to copy it. They have to be innovative. Ramayana is an outstanding subject. Mahabharata is an outstanding subject. Somebody can try it out. I'm sure it is going to work. The only thing that is advantage of Mughal-e-Azam is one, it is a legacy and it's beautiful, popular songs. Because music connects with emotions much better than anything else. So if you have popular music, I think, and Matthew, that I think would answer the question. It's something that has popular music and that connects with audiences. That would be a good starting point for anybody to put his money in.
Okay, very good. There's one more question from DP Prakash. It's right at the bottom.
Will you consider writing a book on leadership, innovation, art from and art from all this in a once in a generation experience. Very good. I actually was thinking something out on similar, not exactly, but similar lines. That there should be something somewhere that should be documented. So what we have done till now, which is not exactly what we've done, we have made a documentary on the last US season, how it was done. We have made a documentary on how the play was made. We made a documentary on how the film was colorized. We have done a film also, a book also on that. But what DP wants is the entire journey, and to write on that is a very interesting subject. And I think I should definitely consider it at some time. And maybe sometime when probably it becomes slightly bigger in the international market, at that time I think would be a more appropriate time. And we can at least travel to at least maybe 5 cities in India other than Bombay and Delhi. I think that would be a good time where people across India actually connect with the show. So right now, only people in Delhi and Bombay and some cities connect with the show. So, but DPS, I will definitely take a suggestion and keep that in mind. And if you can, and if I can take it forward, I need your guidance as well on the same.
Any other questions?
Thank
You
you.
can please unmute yourself and ask Deepesh. Those who are attending the session, if you want to ask any questions, you can just unmute yourself and ask your questions. If there isn't any, then we'll just
Gopal, just a comment here. DP here. I am just so blown away. I saw Deepesh in action with his team. Such an unassuming guy, and you see the evidence of what he's done. The scale, the audacity to even dream this, this kind of a dream at a global scale, and just lift humanity to the next level. That's what he's done. So I really am. I'm very thrilled to say that I am his friend. And Deepesh, always a brilliant guy, always humble. That book that you should, in my mind, you should consider is for the world. This is not just about like art and innovation alone, but it's really truly a triumph of human spirit. To lift the human spirit against all the obstacles. There are many reasons why this may not have been successful. There was one reason why it happened, and I think one of the reasons it happened very strongly is Deepesh was there. So Deepesh, please do consider giving this as a legacy for the world. Next, write the book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, this Rakesh, there's somebody is trying to just ask a question. Partha, as you can unmute. Partha, you can ask now. I think you'll be able to unmute.
So, so Deepesh, terrific production and good presentation today. I'm really sorry that last year when you guys came to Toronto, I was actually out of town. I think I was in Morocco.
Yeah, I know. We missed you there. Yeah.
Just missed you. That was just terrible because everywhere you went, some IT guys got together and they were posting photographs in the group. And unfortunately, I couldn't do it. And I'm sure your Toronto show was also terrific. Now, I know you said that others have failed in replicating shows. But have you considered some other shows yourself to think that, okay, maybe this one will maybe fit the bill? So obviously, looks like the sweet spot is somewhere in the combination of mythology and history, because that was kind of
and music and music.
And music. No, music goes without saying. And I was just thinking to myself, maybe something like Baiju Bawra or something. But of course, that's a kind of a sad story, but also like amazing music, also set in a similar period. And, but the broader question also so that is my first question. The broader question I want to ask you is not just about plays and all, right? And this is related to your point about soft power. It's not just soft power. It's like, it really, I remember this Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon was like this massive hit like 15 or 20 years ago, like. And I went to the theater and think, man, this is not that great. I mean, our Mahabharata and all this, our Hanuman is way better than this. But somehow, because it comes from China and it's exotic and this and that, all these Americans are just showing up and they're lapping it up. But why are we not able to do that? So firstly, the fact that you were able to do this and attract not just the NRI crowd, you attracted like people from those countries itself. I think it's pretty awesome. But I was just, wanted to ask you about what you think your next project is going to be, potentially. Any thoughts?
So, Partha, I would say that, see, in this line, the failure rate is very high, but success rate is very low. Okay. So, if you have made one product, the probability of second successful product also successful is very low, actually, in general. So, the probability works against you. The bigger it is, more fruitful or more, I would say, you have a higher success ratio if you put energy in one show and make it even bigger. We have to go to London right now. We have to go to Australia. We have to go to Singapore. Singapore second time, and if you can make a show to next level, the advantage to India would be far more if I put my energies in making this bigger than investing in a new show. Because the probability of success of a new show is not going to be very high.
Even you feel, even if you can say, from the producers of Mughal-e-Azam comes this next new spectacle, like I think,
because
it doesn't translate.
these shows don't sell on hype, because you cannot in one show how many people will see? 2,000. Shows work on word of mouth.
Right.
After one show in cinema, what happens? You create a hype and release a film across 30,000 screens across the world. So in 3 days, you collect the money and you're out. Whether the film is good or not, that's okay. But you can create such a hype from the makers of so and so and sell your territories and 30,000 screens and you collect the money. In theater, it does not happen that way. It works on word of mouth. You do one performance, second performance, it builds. You build a community, you build the followers, and only after that it becomes big. Actually, it's a long-term game. It's not like a 1 week or 2 week or 3 week or 3 weekend or 10 weekend game. It's like most of the shows in Broadway are working for 25 years. Because how many people have seen Mughal-e-Azam right now? World over 200,000 people, 250,000 people. How many people? Only 350,000 people. How many people have seen the show? Not many. Our target is to see at least 1 million. 1 million is not too much actually, if you see numbers in the world. So I think I would rather personally, because it's not my business actually. My business is real estate and other things. So I would personally put my energy into the same show and making it bigger.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I think we've also, any questions from anybody else? If you have any questions, you can just ask Deepesh. Otherwise, we'll just close the session.
Yes, I think nobody right now.
Deepesh,
Okay.
how have you changed as a leader?
Yeah. Hi.
How have you changed as a leader, Deepesh?
How have you changed?
As a leader.
As a leader, what I can tell you is that, what this theater does to you, or this kind of work, not theater, this kind of work does is two things. One is that, things can go wrong anytime because you're in a live show. So to be prepared for any things that can go wrong anytime. So that's the thing that you're prepared for. In a cinema, once film is made, it's just copy going around. So that is one thing you have to be prepared. This can go wrong. So you need to have right people in the team to take care of any problems that can happen anytime. That is one thing. And the second thing is that this is a lot about human relationships. The value of an important relationship, because you have 100 artists performing on a stage and you need dates from all the people at the same time in which you are doing the show, and that may not be available. So you need to have the relationships and convince them that be part of it, the journey. Because it's not actually very money making for anybody. Everybody's doing more for passion and love and or I would say the kick of a live audience, the charm of a live audience. So you need to drive those human relationships, and that is, I think, so important here, because you sometimes cannot find a replacement. For an artist, how many replacements can you find at that time? So you need to be very careful and consider about the human relationships, and that's the biggest learning from this thing. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have come to the scheduled close of the session. Deepesh, thank you very much for spending your evening with the alumni and then sharing with them your experiences of colorizing Mughal-e-Azam, and also the global performances of Mughal-e-Azam worldwide. Thank you very much. It was a very engaging and enthralling session, and especially the live musical performances that you showed was very, very, very enthralling. Can I just request IITma Rakesh just propose a word of thanks, please?
And I just will there be a recording available for my records? Will you have recording available?
Yes, I can send you the recording to you.
The recording will be uploaded on the IITma channel at YouTube.
Oh, wonderful. So that's wonderful. That is really,
They will
and there
share
for my
the
records also.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Sure, sir. And thank you so much, sir. And this session was really wonderful. And I mean, surprised a lot of us. What to say, the transformation of Mughal-e-Azam actually. And I would like to thank the audience and Mr. Gopal, the Chennai chapter head, for being a part of this session and organizing, making this event as a success actually. And thank you so much, sir. And we look forward to much more sessions like this.
Thank you, everybody, for taking your time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
the participation.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.